Hey everybody, my name is Lashes Lane and I am so excited because today is the first episode of my brand new show, The Sober Showgirl. So I'm going to take a little sip of this peach Bellini sparkling water and give you guys a little cheers because this is really exciting. Ooh, that's so good. If you guys don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about myself before we get into today's topic. I am a burlesque dancer and a burlesque producer. I've been sober for over 2 years, and this has been such a passion of mine to share my sobriety and my story on Instagram. I have been just wanting to do this show for so long now, and it's finally the day. This is a really important topic to me, and I feel like I was just waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect set, the perfect camera equipment, the perfect everything for the official launch of this show. And I thought about it and I thought, wow, if I keep waiting, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this. If you keep waiting for the perfect conditions, I mean, you're just going to keep waiting forever because nothing's ever perfect. If you wait for the perfect time to stop drinking, oh, I'll wait after Thanksgiving, after the holidays, after my birthday, after my trip, you're never going to stop drinking. And that's when I decided I was going to launch this week, the week of Thanksgiving, the week of such a big boozy holiday, because this is important. Your sobriety journey is important. My sobriety journey is important. This topic is so important, and we need to talk about it. We need to normalize sobriety. We need to feel good about this, and we need to have a great holiday season where we are absolutely thriving booze free. So, welcome to my show. I'm so freaking excited. This is going to be so amazing, and I'm so happy to have you on this journey with me. My heart is literally on fire. Today's topic is going to be having a sober holiday season. So you can have making your spirits bright or whatever without the spirits, right? The holidays are such a wonderful time. Christmas is definitely my favorite time of year. I always say that Halloween is my lifestyle, but Christmas is my favorite holiday. And Thanksgiving is really the kickoff to that Christmas season. Now, one of the things that I feel is so common for the holidays is, of course, you're with your family, you're eating great food, you're celebrating, you're together, but drinking is just such a normal part of celebrating the holidays. You have all of your holiday cocktails, you have mulled wine, you have mimosas, you have champagne. All of this stuff is kind of like expected at a party. And if you are someone who is on a sober journey, I'm sure you may be similar to me, where that's how you celebrated. Before I decided to go on this sober journey and make this my lifestyle, my holidays were truly all about the booze. It was so heavily wrapped up in alcohol. That's how I celebrated. That was the only way I knew how to celebrate. Birthday, champagne. Thanksgiving, mimosas, champagne. Wine, cocktails. Everything was so heavily wrapped up with alcohol. And when I got sober, I had to kind of like relearn how to celebrate. As crazy and wild as that sounds, I truly had to learn how to celebrate, like, with my mind, body, and soul. Truly, like, my heart needed to learn how to just like celebrate as a human, as me, without alcohol. And that was crazy. Now I feel like I enjoy little things so much more Everything is so much more rewarding. The little things just seem so much more important, and being fully present is just amazing, especially with family and friends. Time with family and friends just becomes so much more magical when you are fully present and aware of what's happening. So, how do you get there? Maybe you're listening to this and it's your first holiday sober, or maybe you've been sober for a while and you just really want that extra support for the holiday. That's why I wanted to launch this episode today. If you're watching today, it's Tuesday. If you're watching on Thursday, it's Thanksgiving. OMG. Crazy. I want this to just be something for you to not feel alone. We're all in this together. And your first sober holiday is a big freaking deal. Your second sober holiday is a big freaking deal. Your 30th sober holiday is a big deal. I feel like Thanksgiving is one of the biggest drinking holidays. Some might argue that St. Patrick's Day is a bigger drinking holiday. And I think that, yeah, St. Patrick's Day is obviously, the known drinking holiday. That's what people do. They go get their green beers, blah, 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 blah. But Thanksgiving is like a family gathering where there's a lot of food and there's a lot of alcohol and people just drink. They really do. In my experience, I know that some people will drink to cope with maybe a old aunt that says something sideways. They just pour more wine, or maybe, your uncle is, being confrontational. So again, you pour another drink. People cope by using alcohol to kind of numb their senses. It's so common. Oh, I need another drink is such a phrase that you hear people say when they're dealing with these confrontational moments. And I love my family. I get along with my family really well. And for us, drinking was just kind of like a way to keep the party going. Let's pop open another bottle of champagne. And that was me. That was my rule in the family Thanksgiving. We would watch the parade and I'm getting the mimosas started. I'm the first person having a mimosa. I brought 3 bottles of champagne because I know I'm going to have 1 bottle myself. You know what I mean? It was just a drinking day for me. And mimosas are still my favorite thing. You might be thinking, how? I love an alcohol-free mimosa. And if that just blew your mind and you didn't know that you could have those, surprise, you can. There's a lot of really great alcohol-free sparkling wines out there. And there's a brand called Fomosa that makes non-alcoholic mimosas in a can that are single serving. So you can still have your mimosas and be sober, just so you know. Because I'm not going to lie, my first sober holiday, I was oh, RAP, I miss mimosas. And I figured out that I could still have mimosas, and it made me happy because to me, a mimosa was the definition of a party. Now, I feel like my first year of sobriety, I leaned really heavy on NA drinks and booze-free bevs, as they say. And I don't really do that as much anymore. I still love a fun non-alcoholic drink. I still love a non-alcoholic mimosa, but it's not as required as it was in my first year of sobriety. My first sober holiday round was very much, I needed replacement drinks for everything. And I used it as a crutch. I'm not going to lie, I did. I always had non-alcoholic beer in the fridge, non-alcoholic wine in the fridge, mocktails up the wazoo, because I didn't want to ever want anything. I wanted to make sure I always had options. Anyway, circling back, I was about to jump on to our next topic, but we're not there yet. Circling back to drinking on the holidays and how it's so normalized. I just want to say it's hard because as the holiday decor is starting to roll out, all the end caps and the decor and the advertisements and the billboards, everything is alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. It's so in your face. It is. And this is like a hard time, I think, for a lot of people to stay strong in their sobriety. It's hard because alcohol is literally being waved in our faces, like everywhere you go. And if you don't have a solid support system, that can be really triggering and really hard. So I just want to say I'm here for you guys. If it's your first week sober, if you've been 5 years sober, 10 years sober, a million years sober, you're like a sober vampire or something, I'm here for you, and I support you in your journey because it's important. It's important. I always say you don't want to lose all of your accomplishments and milestones to one sip of some freaking drink. You know, remember why you're sober. Remember why you started this journey. Remember your personal reasons, your personal struggles, and think about all your growth, and reach for some sparkling water instead. Reach for an NA bev, like reach for a mocktail. Give yourself options. Because you're important and your sobriety is important too. And I never want you to forget that. I never want you to forget that. Yeah, so important. I think it's crazy that you really have to relearn how to celebrate in sobriety. My definition of a party used to be champagne. That was my definition. I was the champagne girl. I would bring sparkling wine to everything. I would bring a couple bottles because I knew I was going to drink one all myself. First one to crack open a bottle of champagne, always. And, you know, that was my definition of a party and celebration. And non-alcoholic champagne honestly really helped me like kind of replace that and learn how to not have the alcohol but still have the fun beverage and be present. And it was a good tool for me. But you really have to like learn how you and yourself want to celebrate. You know, it's like you have to kind of get to know yourself again, and it's kind of intimidating. It's kind of scary, but it's really cool. I'm an aunt now, and it's amazing to think like how present I'm going to be in my nieces' lives. And it's scary to think if I didn't get sober that I wouldn't be as present in their lives. So it's really important to remember why you're sober and to put in that work to reshape your definition of what a celebration is, and enjoy those little things, enjoy those conversations with your family and your friends, and really like celebrate that. Celebrate those little moments. Yeah, I got like a little emotional there for a second. One of the reasons I stopped drinking was because I just couldn't handle it. We'll get into this in another episode, but I was one of those people that just couldn't stop. One turned into, 3 bottles, guys. And holidays for me, they'd be good until they weren't good. They were good until they weren't. And I would get so sloppy. I wouldn't remember things. I'd get hungover. I'd get sick. And that's just not the way that I want to celebrate my family. That's not the way I want to celebrate myself. And that's not the way that I want to like show up for myself in my life. And it's so cool to look at how things are now. Now, we are going to get into my tips and tricks for staying sober during the holidays. Number one, always remember, and I kind of touched on this already, but always remember why you're sober. Remember why you're on this journey, why it's so important to you, and stay strong. If someone is trying to tempt you with alcohol, number one, that's not cool of them. And number two, remember, take a second, take a deep breath, and remember like why you're on this journey. Everyone has their own special reason. Remember that reason, and just remember that that personal reason to you is not worth that sip of beer or whatever. Just remember that. Stay strong. Remember your goals, and don't let anyone make you feel like your goals aren't important, or like a bottle of beer is more important than your goals and your dreams for yourself, because it might not be conventional and it might not fit their criteria of like what they think you should do, or maybe they're used to the old you, and the old you was wild and fun, and they just don't understand your new journey and your new path. Don't let them try to compromise like what you're building for yourself, because they don't understand your path and your journey. Stay strong with your beliefs and believe in yourself, because you're worth believing in, and your sobriety's worth it. You're worth it. Number two is pack a cooler, a big old toolbox of things that make you happy. So bring some cool non-alcoholic drinks. I always bring like a cool non-alcoholic wine. Groovy makes single serving rosés and Prosecco's. I love them. They're so good. I love that Fomosa brand. Those are delicious. It's one of my favorite things. St. Regis makes a great brut that I just love. And then Free Wine's really accessible. If you can't find any of those things, get yourself some sparkling water and some fun things to put in it. Like you could make like a little ginger sparkling water. They have those little squeezy ginger, lime, lemon squeezes. You know what I'm talking about? If you're not watching the video, you're not seeing me make like a squeezy motion into my glass, but they're like these little circular things that have lime juice and lemon, and there's some ginger ones. You could get some of those. Stir makes some cool like lemonade squeezies. Those are great. So you could make like a little fun sparkling beverage like that, or you could use like real lemon or real lime. You could take some strawberries and cut them up, throw them into your sparkling water. There's a lot of cool things you could do, you know? There's a lot of non-alcoholic beer out there. If you're a beer drinker, you can still have your beer just with, a 0.0 ABV. And some of them are really good. Guinness actually makes one, and that's my husband's favorite because he used to be a big Guinness guy. So when they came out with a zero proof beer, he was super stoked about that. Bring something that makes you happy. So if someone asks you, hey, what are you drinking? You're like, oh, I'm drinking this groovy rosé. It's really good. And then they might even want to try one, and that's cool. Always have something for you so you never feel like you're missing out. Give yourself a little treat. You deserve a little treat. Really, it does help. If you are in the situation, tip number 3, if you're in the situation where a family is stressing you out and you need to step away, come up with a reason to step away. If you're feeling quite shy and you don't want confrontation, maybe just take a minute to fix your makeup or your hair in the bathroom. Oh, excuse me, I'm just going to go, powder my nose. But really, like, say, oh, I'm going to fix my lipstick, or I'm going to fix my eyelash, or, I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom. You could just say you're going to use the restroom. I guess you don't need to be touching, you don't need to powder your nose. You could tell them you need to go take a big old Thanksgiving dump for all I care. Just come up with a reason to excuse yourself. You could, if it's a nice day, you could say, I'm going to take a walk. It's a really beautiful day and we just ate all of that food. Or give yourself a job. Maybe you bring a dish to make and you have to prepare it there. Oh, I'm going to take a minute to check on my macaroni and cheese or my green bean casserole. Give yourself a job. Give yourself a reason to step away. It's okay to step away. Don't feel bad. And if you're in a situation where it feels confrontational for you to go on a walk, if you have confrontational family that's like, why are you going for a walk? And they're gonna, make it a thing. Just say you need to go to the bathroom. Hide in the bathroom for a little bit, No one's gonna question that. And if they do, they have a problem. And just take a big deep breath and say, wow, they got some problems. They got some stuff they got to work out internally, It's one of those things where it's so normalized to be like, I need a drink, family gets on your nerves, or a friend gets on your nerves, or what have you. And your first response is like, I need a drink. Why? What is that going to do? When did that ever make it better? And think about that. When did that ever make it better? If anything, that creates more confrontation because your lips get nice and loose when you're drinking, and then, you say something a little sassy. Definitely not from experience there. Never have I ever said anything sassy while under the influence of alcohol. No, I definitely have. It doesn't make anything better. Being irritated and drinking just makes you more irritated. You might feel numb for a hot minute, but then you're going to be more irritated. So don't fall into the habit of thinking that a drink is going to make people less irritating. It won't. You don't need it. You don't need alcohol to get through a family function. Hot tip number 4. If indeed you are at the dinner table and someone is saying something that is really getting under your skin, maybe they're pressing you for being single or something, maybe they're getting on you about your career path. Don't be afraid to use your voice and say, yeah, this is not something that I'm comfortable discussing right now. Let's change the topic to something else. I heard you went on vacation last month, Aunt Francine. How was that? Just don't be afraid to change the topic. If you don't have an Aunt Francine, feel free to directly use that quote and really confuse everybody. No, don't be afraid to to guide the conversation in a different direction. Be creative, be intuitive, and just say, oh, I really, it's all good, but I think we could talk about that another time. So, so-and-so, how is work going? Just change the subject. Try to get out of there as best as you can. You know what I mean? Conversationally, just switch to something else. Even if it's something so simple. Yeah, I really don't feel like talking about that right now. But oh my goodness, Grandma, you did a great job with this turkey. What did you do differently this year? It tastes different. Did you do something different? Anything that you can do to get out of that stressful topic. And if people are really hounding you, just try not to engage and, keep yourself calm and rise above it. And don't let it make you feel like you need a drink, because a drink will just make everything worse. It will just make everything worse. And people being annoying is not worth losing your sobriety and your milestones. And that's a freaking fact. So just don't forget that. My first Thanksgiving and Christmas sober was kind of interesting because my significant other, his family is very much they're drinking. They're party people, right? And we used to definitely indulge and party with them and drink a lot of alcohol. So they were shocked when we both decided that we were going to be sober. I began my journey first, and then he followed suit. And, we've both been sober for over 2 years. But the first Thanksgiving, OMG, guys, it was crazy. I think that literally everybody thought that I was pregnant, and that sucks to deal with. When people don't understand that you're on a journey to better yourself and they just assume that you are with child, it is something that is so hard to deal with. It is so hard to deal with, and it makes you just want, out of spite, to just take a sip of something to be look, see, not pregnant. But you can't do that, because then that just throws away everything that you're working so hard on. It was really aggravating though. And I feel like this is, a safe space to talk about it. I'm close with all of them. And, it's funny now, but in the moment I was like, oh my God, why does everyone think I'm pregnant? I've been communicating that I am doing this for me and for myself, to better myself, to become the person that I always wanted to be. And for everyone to be whispering, I think she's pregnant. That's not cool. It's not cool. And of course everyone was still offering drinks because was so customary. It wasn't supposed to be anything malicious. It's very much how they celebrate. And now everyone is so used to it. One of his aunts doesn't drink. And then another family member doesn't drink. And so it's so normalized now. And it's so nice because no one is expecting us to get hammered. They were kind of expecting us to get hammered before, because that was the norm. And now everyone's like, oh yeah, they don't drink, It's great. It gets better. So your first year is always kind of a toughie. It just keeps getting better. You just have to stay strong, truly. Holidays now were just so much better. Little things are so much better. I did everything boozed up before. Christmas shopping, I got champagne before. I'd get schwasty at the mall and go Christmas shopping. And you don't even remember what you're buying towards the end of it, guys. I would do everything fueled by Prosecco. And it was a mess. It really was. And I mean, thinking about it now, I'm like, oh my God, just so much time spent so sick and so hungover, And this is a time to be with family. This is a time to be with friends. This is a time to just really relax. And just remember that being hungover is not relaxing. It's a great life that we have now, hangover free, booze free. So we don't need it. We don't need it for the holidays. It's not something that is required. It's not something that makes us festive. It's not something that we need. We can have fun mocktails. We can have a great time. We don't need alcohol. We just need to stay strong, keep our wits about us, and we can celebrate in a new way, more present and happier than ever. If you guys are having your first sober holiday, I congratulate you. If you are having your 1 millionth sober holiday and you are a sober vampire, I congratulate you. No matter what reason you've stopped drinking, it's important. Your journey is important. I love you guys, and I hope that you have a great holiday season. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to be making more episodes talking about, being sober in show business, being sober in burlesque, my personal history with alcohol, getting sober, what my journey was like, all of the ups and downs of getting sober, how sensory overload and sugar cravings and binge drinking LaCroix and all of that stuff comes into play, or at least it did for me personally. And I'm really excited to explore this. So this has been my first episode talking about the holidays, talking about Thanksgiving. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. But before I do, I just want to say I'm so happy that you stayed and watched this. If you've listened to the whole thing, if you've watched the whole thing, I just really love you and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of us. We're really doing this. We're really living our best sober lives. We're not sober and surviving. We're sober and we're thriving, and that's so special. It gets better every day. If you're struggling, if you're having a lot of cravings, if you're like feeling alone, and just know that it gets better every single day. Don't be afraid to look for Facebook groups of other sober people, connect with people on, Instagram. Don't be afraid to reach out to me personally. I can tell you that everything's going to be okay and that you've got this, and keep your chin up, and that I believe in you. I believe in us. I believe in what we're doing. We are totally doing something that is not the standard normal thing to do. Turn on the TV right now, you might see, there's like a 99.9% chance you will see an advertisement for some kind of alcohol. Walk down the street, you're going to see alcohol. It's everywhere. It's in the grocery stores, drugstores, everywhere. Man, go to church, it's at communion. What's up with, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry. It's everywhere. But no, for real, guys, it's really everywhere. It's really tempting. This is a hard road, but it gets easier and easier every day, and the cravings get better. The sensory overload, if you deal with that gets better. The feeling of like needing alcohol or needing a drink, that gets better. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your journey. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your journey. And I'm proud of you, and I love us. And that's been the episode. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more. It's going to be every Tuesday. I love you so much. And we are freaking rock stars. Till next time, it's Lashes Lane, and you've watched the Sober Showgirl. Love you.